All right, welcome to the party. Ongoing adventures of 3 Whiskey Bravo. Took off from Duluth today, headed to Indianapolis. Didn't want to go right into Indianapolis International, so I selected a general aviation airport right nearby called Indianapolis Metropolitan Airport, whose initials are KUMP, Kilo Uniform Mike Papa. So that's where we're headed. And we're about 126 nautical miles from our destination right now. We're descending from flight level 300 to flight level 230 per direction from ATC. Really active, busy area. As you can see, all the aircraft, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 airplanes within 50 nautical miles of us. While we're beginning this descent, we'll go ahead and enter the relevant information for our approach. We're approaching the VOR runway 33. So we'll go and enter the VOR frequency here, which is 112.0. Oops. 112.0. So that's now our active frequency on nav1. Go ahead over here and activate that on the PFD. Bearing 1. Not getting any data from the transmitter yet, which is not entirely surprising in as much as it's still 118 nautical miles away. I'd expect to start seeing something within about 90 miles. Descending to 23,000 right now from flight level 248. It's another CTAF airport, non-towered airport. But I do know, having looked at the approach plates, we need to be at 3,300 feet, 2,600 feet at the Appy intersection, which is on our flight plan. Airport elevation is 811 feet, and the approach course for this runway is 330. So we'll head south and then basically just make a U-turn. We'll pass the runway, we'll be over here, and then we'll turn around and land. We're down to 23,000 now, awaiting further descent instructions. Let's hope we get them. There it is. Down to 15,000 there, Cruise Bravo.
Descend and maintain 15,000 feet, Docker Trey Whiskey Bravo.
So I've entered 15,000 into this altitude selector, and then I'll go over to VS and take our descent rate down to 1,400 feet per minute.
Airtree Whiskey Bravo, contact Chicago Center on 123.85.
2385 there, Cruise Bravo. Take
123.85 for Docker Trey Whiskey Bravo. Chicago Center, Docker November 343 Whiskey Bravo is out of flight level 225
for flight level 15,000.
Docker November 343 Whiskey
Proceed
Bravo,
to Joffre as planned.
Bravo, Victor Tango as planned.
BVT, I'm sorry, BVT is our next waypoint. Joffre is our waypoint after that. Look at all these airplanes. Holy smokes. You really have to admire air traffic controllers and the incredible job they do in keeping people safe, managing all this traffic. It's 14:58 here at my house in Southern California. 21:58 Greenwich Mean Time. And I figure, let's see, it's probably about, yeah, it's 5 o'clock. 4:58 Central Time, where I am now. Flew right over the city of Chicago, literally over the city of Chicago. It was very cool. Took a couple of screenshots. Make a left turn here now as we get to Bravo Victor Tango, which is the waypoint over which we're now flying. Starting that gentle left turn. That's Kokomo, Indiana out there. Never been. Been to Chicago, but never been to Kokomo. And then off to our right, which you can't see because we're in a turn, is Terre Haute. Terre Haute.
Generic 7 Kilo Tango traffic is 4 o'clock 4 miles at flight level 360 generic. Report them in sight.
Absolutely beautiful. It was, let's see, a little icing, but nothing bad. Heavy rain and clouds out of Duluth. Probably the first, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes. We were in clouds basically all the way up to our cruising altitude of 31,000. But just for fun, you just heard the air traffic control refer to United 2104. And I just love the interactivity of all this. 2104, we can check on flightaware.com and see where that real plane is. 2104. I'm entering it right now on my device. That is an air. Oops, did I get it right? 2104 is apparently an airplane that's flying from Washington D.C. to Denver. And yeah, I'm looking at their real-time radar information. They're just south of Chicago right now. That airplane. It's at 36,000 feet right now, headed west. It's an Airbus A319 United 2104. There it is. Going from Reagan to Denver. Estimated arrival time 6:14 p.m. 2987. Let's see if that's true. We'll do our little thought experiment. 2987 according to the ForeFlight app. And now I'll press the B key and let's see how right it is. 2978. Okay. There's always a little bit of lag on this, the weather that's in sim versus the weather in real life. Look at all the planes. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Jesus.
Chicago Center on 132.905.
Right over Lafayette, which I think is in Indiana. Lafayette. Sure. Yeah, it's in Indiana. So right now we're passing over Joffre on our waypoints. And after that is Ockel, O-C-K-E-L. Anyway, once we got past that weather, it's been beautiful. And it's, by all accounts, looks like a beautiful fall day in the Midwest. A lot of weather just east of Indiana. I think it's the remnants of Hurricane Delta. Kokomo. So showing 85 miles now to our destination. We did have a heavy icing on the climb out from Duluth, but once we cleared the weather, it wasn't as bad. Hold on. Down to 3,000 here, which is probably.
Descend and maintain 3,000 feet, Docker Trey Whiskey Bravo.
We'll change our altitude selector down to 3,000.
Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo, contact Chicago Center on 0825.375.
25375 here, Mr. Bravo.
125.375, Docker Trey Whiskey Bravo.
So we're entering our little math phase right now. 15,000 feet, descending down to 3,000 feet. Remember our altitude we need to be at is 2,600 feet when we get to APPIE, APPIE, 2978, you heard that. APPIE is the
Delta Tree Whiskey Bravo contact Chicago Center on ONE 23.85.
2385, good as well.
123.85 for Dr. Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Getting to Ockle here, we're only 29 seconds. Now we're 9 minutes to our next waypoint, which is, look, APPIE. Remember I told you? APPIE?
Delta November 34 Whiskey Bravo Chicago Center continuous climb. Altimeter 29 decibel.
And check this out. We now have
Delta Tree Whiskey
distance
Bravo,
information.
8 miles northwest. Descend and maintain 2,600 feet.
There it is.
Expect the
Told you.
runway tree approached by a Sierra Hotel Bravo transition. Clear to Sierra Hotel Bravo.
So we've been we were ordered to descend at 2,600 feet.
Bravo Airport is at your 12 o'clock tree 7 miles. Descend and maintain 2,600 feet. Report runway in sight.
So, a couple
Descend
things.
and maintain 2,600 feet. Expect VOR runway tree approach via Sierra Hotel Bravo transition. Clear to Sierra Hotel Bravo. Dr. Trey Whiskey Bravo.
Sierra Hotel Bravo is the
Dr. Trey
waypoint
Whiskey
in between
Bravo
us
with the
and
runway
APPIE.
in sight.
Did I just say runway in sight?
United 1779er contact Chicago.
I don't know about that. I don't see it yet. Anyway, you may be wondering, well, how come this says
Delta
50,
Tree Whiskey Bravo, you are 4
So
miles
busy.
northwest of Kilo Uniform.
4 miles? Why does it say that when it's 53? Because, as I've said now repeatedly, the
Delta
VOR
Trey Whiskey Bravo.
radio frequency is not always at the airport.
Kilo Uniform Mike Papa traffic Dr. November Tree 4 Trey Whiskey Bravo Tree 4 miles northwest inbound VOR runway tree.
So what's happening now is I was handed off basically to
Kilo
the
Uniform Mike Papa traffic Dr.
CTAF
November
frequency.
Tree 4
So
Trey Whiskey
I'm
Bravo,
no longer
final runway tree to land.
dealing with approach or center or anything like that. I am just broadcasting to traffic in the area what my intentions are, where I am, and where I'm going. So this is good. This is another example of flight into an uncontrolled airport working, even with ATC. And by the way, I think I figured out what was going on yesterday with that weird bug about how I couldn't shake the navigation aid thing that was floating around here showing how far I was from the taxiway, even though I'd already been there and so on and so forth. I think it was my error. I don't think it was it's technical reasons I don't need to go into as to why that was happening. But I think that it's been fixed. In any event, you want to have I prefer to have AI handle ATC, especially because sometimes they pass you like between frequencies, like they'll tell you to go to this frequency and then 5 seconds later tell you to go to another frequency, which I don't really think in my experience is very realistic. So if they're gonna be, I got enough on my hands, handling the approach without having to screw around constantly resetting or radio frequencies. Anyway, we're descending 9,600 feet. Our distance to our next waypoint, APPIE, is 26 miles. So we'll again do some math. 6 minutes away, descending at 1,400 feet per minute. We do not need to descend this quickly. So let's shallow it out just for math purposes to 1,000 feet per minute. Okay? We know we're 6 minutes away. 1,000 feet per minute. 6 times 1,000, 6,000 feet. We're at 9,000 feet right now. That takes us down to 3,000 feet. We need to be at 2,600 feet when we get to APPIE. And I'm going to keep slowing the aircraft. So that is just probably a damn near perfect. But I should watch what I say, right? You see what I mean? Just an absolutely gorgeous day. A screenshot of that. That is cool. That is cool.
Kilo Uniform Mike Papa traffic, generic November 797 Mike Alpha 8 miles northwest
Took
inbound.
a screenshot of that. That's just a cool picture. Descending into Indianapolis. $8,400 feet down to 2,600. There's an airplane right out there. far away. Probably this guy. Now showing us, see, because we've slowed down, we're still 6 minutes away. See what I mean? So we'll shallow out our descent rate even more. I think I've explained that enough. That it's just basically, it's very intuitive if you think about it. If you think about a GPS device in your car or whatever, if it says how far you are from a particular location based on your current speed. Well, if you start slowing down, that computation is going to change, obviously, and that's all that happened there. Holding 160 knots right now. Now 5 minutes 51 seconds. Fought a headwind, heck of a headwind, the whole way in. Just taking a look at something here real quick. Hold on. I really want them to fix the V key. This is interesting. Why is it? This is weird because it looks like it stops at Appy, but Appy is not our final waypoint. This might just be because we're zoomed out so far. If I were able to press the V key, I really want them to fix that bug. I was reading the boards on that, and it is a major problem. The V key problem. Let's go ahead and speed up a little bit. It's really driving everybody nuts.
Traffic, generic November 797 Mike Alpha, 5 miles northwest inbound, visual runway 15.
Oh, cool! There's somebody else on approach into this airport. He's headed into runway 15. Interesting. You know what I might do because the weather's so great is I might actually overfly the airport and have, whoops, gosh, I gotta be more careful about that. And fly the approach into runway 15. If that's the active runway, check something real quick. This often happens where the weather changes mid-flight. You know what I mean? When you took off, the weather was such and such, but during the flight, the weather, or winds more importantly, change at your destination. Right now I'm on my device, I'm checking the METAR, the weather information for Indianapolis Metropolitan Airport. Just checking to see what the winds are. Winds right now, most recent winds are, oh goodness gracious, 170. No, 270. No, I'm sorry. That's the terminal area forecast for Indianapolis. This is interesting. Just wonder why that guy, whoever that is flying into runway 15. It's not an issue. I mean, it's nothing I'm panicked over. I do see that our prevailing winds right now are 11. 11 knots, that is.
Kilo Uniform Mike Papa traffic, generic November 797 Mike Alpha, 2 miles northwest inbound, visual runway.
That's that guy. That's that guy right there. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to deviate a little bit. This is a fun little experiment. Not really an experiment. I don't experiment with my passengers' lives. This is just a deviation. We're going to modify our plans. We're going to select runway 15 instead of runway 33 based on what I'm seeing with the weather. That's the runway we want to land on.
November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo 6 miles northwest inbound VO or runway Tree circle to land runway 15.
Okay, that's good. All right, so things are looking just splendid right now. So we're going to basically overfly the airport and do a left downwind. So if that makes sense, we'll fly over. That's the airport right there. That guy, you see, actually can see it. This guy just landed. Okay. I'm going to go like this. Overfly the airport, turn left, left again, and then come in. Left base. Very good. This is all pretty standard operating procedure, but I got to start slowing down.
Landing gear.
I don't need landing gear yet, honey. So we're overflying the airport right now. And our altitude's good. Okay, so now we're overflying the airport. Remember, the altitude towards which we're descending, 2,600 feet, the airport elevation is 811
Kilo
feet.
Uniform Mike Papa, traffic generic November 7907 Mike Alpha is clear of the runway.
Thank you, sir. That was nice of him.
Kilo Uniform Mike Papa, traffic generic November 7907 Mike Alpha is clear of the runway.
So we're going to turn left. We will not descend below 2,600 feet, and we don't want to. We know that our approach course for 1.5 is, or for 1.5 is 150. So take 90 degrees off of that, and that'll give you the course that you want for your left turn. Which is 060. Okay, you see what we're doing? We're turning left. Now we're going to turn left again to 330. Basically flying parallel to the airport, and you'll actually see it here in a second. You'll see the airport in just a moment. Gosh, I just can't get over these graphics. There it is. See? So we're flying parallel to it. We're going to fly this way, turn around, and come in and land, so that we're consistent with the prevailing winds. Put our gear down. So having a grasp of magnetic headings, which is not complicated. I mean, it's a circle with 360 dashes on it. Very important so that you know when you're flying opposite the runway heading. This is essential for flying a downwind. When we turn, this is a downwind we're on right now. When we turn left, we'll be on a base leg. And then we turn left again, we'll be on final. Go ahead and announce our position on downwind.
Kilo Uniform Mike Papa, traffic Docker November 34 Whiskey Bravo is on downwind runway 15.
We're steady right now at 125 knots and 2,600 feet. You don't want to turn left too fast, because then you'll be too high to handle the approach. But I think we're pretty good right now, so we'll turn left. What's 90 off of 330? Somebody do the math, right? We'll turn left to 240. Get ready for flap deployment. Look at the graphics. I just can't get my head around it. Okay, sorry, I gotta handle this landing. Flaps. Our landing lights on, and we'll go left again to our runway heading of 150. Now we won't go all the way to 150 because we want to be able to intercept the approach course. And there's the airport right in front of us. So autopilot disengaged, final flap deployment. Hop up in the seat a little bit. I probably should have extended my downwind a little bit. But this is one of the upsides to flying a single-engine airplane, is that it's pretty capable of handling fast descents and so forth. But actually, this is very reasonable. There's the airport right off there on 10 o'clock. I don't know if you can see it. I see the REILs blinking. I see 4 whites on the poppy, but we're good. Airspeed's perfect. Boy, this is one of the prettiest approaches I've done in a while. Look at the lighting. Oh, I wish I could just like stop and look out the window. Turning now. The trees. I set everything at ultra with no modifications. And I'm not seeing anything that causes me any heartburn in terms of stuttering. 4 whites on the poppies. I can't zoom in on it right now. Here, okay, I just trimmed the airplane so I can take my hand off the stick. 4 whites on the poppies, so that means we're too high. It's no problem. In visual conditions like this, you can 500 AGL. It would be, obviously, you couldn't do this kind of an approach if it were cloudy or anything like that, but there you go. Short final, runway 15. 2 and 2, 3 and 1. See how fast things can change in this business? Airspeed's still perfect, 84 knots. 2 and 2 now. Man, right over the treetops there on short final. Short runway too, in addition to being short final. But not an issue. Idle. Stick it. Nice. We'll use the thrusters on this one. End of that runway is coming up awfully fast. All right, good. Very good. I think I forgot to announce that I was on final. That's fine. That's what you get when you're too busy looking at pretty images outside the window of your simulator. I can't remember if the parking is, I think it's on the right. Just confirm that before I exit. Yes, okay. Let's go ahead and bring in the flaps. Use our feet. That was great. I think the only thing that I screwed up there was not announcing that I was on final on the CTAF, and that was just an oversight. I was too busy trying to pick my jaw off the floor with the graphics. Oh, this is a little airport, but very GA friendly, you can see. By the way, final confirmation, look at the winds. 4 knots from the south. So we were right to change our arrival runway. And you saw what we did. I mean, we just basically overflew the airport, hung a left, did a left base, and that was that. Speaking of, oops, I just accidentally took a screenshot. Speaking of being bad on CTAF, I forgot to announce that I was clear of the runway.
Kilo uniform Mike Papa traffic Docker November 34 Whiskey Bravo is clear of the runway.
Okay. You can see, again, if you look here, it's, our position on this is depicted nicely. Hey, look, we got Gary today. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. That was really fantastic. Let's reset our camera view. Should have turned off those landing lights, poor bastard. Pulse. Oh, parking brake. Oh, and I forgot to turn on my initial separator. Oh, boy. Again, none of these is a deal breaker, but until I was distracted by the graphics. I find when I have these approaches into airports where the conditions are terrible, like really bad weather, I am more efficient. Outside air temperature is 20 degrees. Nice, beautiful evening. I mean, that's what, about 60? I don't know the conversion. It's probably in 60. I think 22. I think it's probably about 66 degrees. I'll have to check that later. I promise I did not cheat. Cut the engines. Close the fuel valve. Acknowledge the alarm. Selector. Kill the remaining lights. Depressurize. Everything else is shut down. All right. Well, that was fun. That was really fun. I really enjoyed that. We'll go outside for a second, just check out where we are. Nice. Our parking went well. Here we are, just blending in. Blending in. Wonder where that guy is who landed in front of us. He did a good job. Thanks to that guy, I realized that the prevailing winds were different than I expected. Or at least different than they were when I planned this flight. Well, this went great. I'm very pleased. And things are good. I'm happy about this. This was a good flight. Very good flight. We'll see where we go next, but that's it for now. I am off to Les Meridiennes. That's the hotel I'm staying in tonight in Indianapolis. I've stayed at a Les Meridian once. Les Meridian in Munich, I think, in Germany. It was nice. Nice digs. See how this place is. Okay. That's it for now. Bye-bye.